first for Alberta and only the second charge of its kind in Canada. A man has been arrested here in Calgary and charged with pirating a big-screen movie, officially unauthorized recording and a breach of copyright laws. The man was picked up after allegedly making a secret recording at a movie theater. So it seems Canada may finally be stepping up its policing of copyright laws. And as Heather Urix is here to explain, that could have implications for you at home if you download, copy, or share music or any other digital file. Heather.
Yeah, that's right. Canada has long been criticized as being a pirate haven when it comes to copyright infringement. Movie and music distributors have been frustrated by the relaxed rules we've had here. But as you mentioned, things are slowly changing. Now, on December 21st, police were called to the Silver City Theatre in Country Hill, or Studio 16, rather it's called. Their officers say they saw a man sitting in the back of the theater shooting the movie Sweeney Todd with a hidden camcorder. He was arrested, but what's interesting about this case is up until only recently, what the man was doing was perfectly legal.
Essentially, anytime an individual goes into a movie theater and captures a motion picture by way of photographic or video recording, it's now considered unlawful as of June 2007.
This is just the beginning. There are some tough new copyright rules perhaps coming ahead.
Yeah, Gord, the Conservatives are expected to roll out new legislation in the coming weeks, and it's pretty controversial. It's widely believed to look very similar to the U.S. Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is pretty strict, and that has sparked a huge online outcry. A lobby group has been created on Facebook. Fair Copyright for Canada has over 35,000 members and chapters right across the country. I spoke with the head of the Calgary Chapter earlier today. He says the legislation borders on ridiculous because it doesn't allow consumers to, for example, make any copies of any music or video files, even if you just wanted to take a CD and put it onto your iPod.
For example, the TiVos that Canadians have been buying over Christmas and whatnot, well, strictly speaking, the law really doesn't cover them. In fact, the moment that they turn it on to record shows, to shift their viewing habits, what they call time shifting, they are breaking the law because the law really doesn't protect them.
Now, getting back to the incident in December, before June, the only thing a movie theater could do if they caught you recording a movie was ask you to leave. Big U.S. studios were getting so frustrated with the amount of bootlegs coming out of cities like Calgary. Warner Brothers actually canceled all of its summer premieres. That eventually led to the changes to the criminal code that we've seen here. So 20-year-old Richard Craig Leeseman has now been charged. He will appear in court on February 1st, and if convicted, he could face up to 2 years in prison, up to 5 years, if they can prove that he intended on selling the material. Now, also, I just got off the phone with the head of the anti-piracy, the director of the anti-piracy with the Motion Picture Distribution Association out of Los Angeles. He wouldn't comment on the new legislation coming out of the Conservative government specifically, but from their point of view, they say they're pretty happy with the direction Canada is heading. He says in 2006, a quarter of all movies ending up online were being pirated out of Canada, and specifically coming from Montreal and Calgary. He adds that since this arrest in December, their investigators have not had any further problems with camcorders in theaters, so he says he's pretty hopeful that things are changing.
Interesting. Thanks, Heather.
You're welcome.
And we're thinking you might have an opinion on this tonight. We'd love to hear it. On our sound off, we're asking, what do you think is fair when it comes to copyright laws? Have your say at globaltvcalgary.com.